What's up, RC people? Welcome to the RC channel. I'm the RC guy. Today we're going to do an unboxing and assembly video of this airplane we got. We're going to get it prepped for electronics. So let's see what we got. It's the Sonic model Sky Hunter. Comes in a nice box. Everything looks packaged very well. Here's the instructions. There's our CG spot. Got some stickers. White. White, red, and green. So you can pick 3 different colors for your airplane. Here's some more stickers. Here's the tail section. Looks to be really nice. Servo extension is pre-installed for the elevator. Here's the carbon wing spar. The right wing. Servo horn is pre-installed. The left wing. Very smooth. Here's the elevator. Has little braces to protect the servo on a hard landing. Here's the electronics. Have a 5x4/5 prop. This should be a 30 amp ESC with the XT60 and a JST if you want to run a little FPV camera. Here's the motor. It's a 1806 2400 kV. Here's the servos. Standard 9-gram servos. Here's the two for the wing. Some links in the Y harness. And always the best for last. Nice pocket for the motor where you can mount your electronics. Comes with a strap, and then this canopy is either this way, or you can take this portion off and put your FPV camera. Alright, let's put it together. So the glue I like using for foam models is this Hobby King clear foam medium cure glue. This seems to stretch a little and not crack like CA glue. Alright, before we start gluing anything, it's always good to go through the instructions and read it all the way through at least once. Make sure you have a good idea of what they want you to do with the model. But this plane's real easy. It's only 3 steps. First one is basically gluing the elevator to the tail, then gluing this to the wings, and then attaching that to the fuselage with just these 2 screws. So the assembly should go very quick and easy. So first thing I'm going to do is dry fit everything and make sure everything's going to glue together as it should. That looks pretty good. Don't really need to apply a lot of glue. Just make sure you get full coverage on the surface. Again, you want to get full coverage, but you don't want to use a ton of glue. See that? There's not a lot on there, but it's covering the whole surface. I'm going to add a little piece of tape on top to keep the stabilizers level as it dries. Okay, so we've let the glue set for a few minutes. Now we're going to glue this to the wing. Put the wing spar in. Let's do a test fit. Looks good. Same as before, you don't want to use a lot, but you want to get full coverage. Alright, let's join the wing. Now we're going to want to add some glue to this part. And join the two pieces. Alright, we'll clean all this up and let it dry. Okay, so I let the glue dry a while. I used a little clamp and some tape to hold the seams tight. Let's see how it came out. Alright, it looks good. All this extra glue you can just peel off, or you can use a piece of tape and get the extra off. Okay, so let's put the motor on the motor mount. Use a little Loctite. Okay, install the motor. Now the ESC. Now we're going to pass it underneath. Wires go in the slot. Here's our wires. So here's the electronics I'm going to put in it. It's a Spektrum ar6610 receiver paired with the ZOHD copilot lite. So this will give me telemetry like altitude and voltage and a few other things. And this will give me stability, sort of like safe, and then you can turn it off or you can program it to either have a fence mode, but we're going to use the GPS, return to home function, and auto launch. So with this, I'll be able to fly the plane, and if I ever lose sight of it or get disoriented, you could hit the switch and it'll come back to you and circle at about 70 feet and just loiter. Or you can set it before you launch it, and when you throw the model, the motor will automatically come on, fly away, go to 70 feet and loiter just like the return to home. So if you have a prop in the back of your plane, this is probably a good thing to have, since it's a lot harder for it to cut your hand. So the first thing we have to do is bind the receiver to the radio and center all the servos. Okay, so first we need to make a new model.
Transmitter low battery.
That's not good. So first we need to make a new model.
Transmitter low battery.
But not right now. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is make a new model. Go to model select, go to the bottom, add new model, create, model select, yes, back to the main screen. Alright, now we can name it. And this one is the Sky Hunter. And then we'll go to bind. So now we need to plug in the battery and press this button on the front of the receiver at the same time. Notice how the receiver is blinking. Go to your radio and hit bind.
Binding. DSMX 22 milliseconds. Telemetry. Bind complete.
When you hear bind complete, the bind is complete. So let's test. Ailerons. So those are working. Let's check the elevator. Huh. Got a loose connection here somewhere. Uh-oh. Son of a bitch. This is why you always test your airplanes. This wire came broken from the factory. So if you don't check everything really good, give the wires a little tug. I mean, this is the elevator. That could have been disastrous in the air. If this came loose and wasn't checked properly, this plane has no chance of survival. If you get up, you know, a couple hundred feet and you lose your elevator, that's it. So We'll resolder that, and I'm going to go through this whole thing because I'm sure there's other problems now. There we go. Alright, got the radio installed. Got the servos installed and all glued in, centered up. So now let's install the copilot. Alright, here's the copilot. Let's see what we got inside. In the first tray, you'll get the programmer board, the actual copilot, and the GPS antenna. Wait a minute. No way. Where's the wires? Well, no wires in the box. That's a pretty big bummer. This is what I needed. This is what I needed. And that's what I needed. So, luckily I have some other wires that I can use. But this is also what you get: the unit, the GPS, a sticky pad, screwdriver, control board, and a sticker, but no wire apparently in my box. Anyway, what I wanted to show you guys, but now I can't, is this is the way that the copilot is set up: aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder, and these are the channels 1, 2, 3, 4. Spektrum is set up throttle, aileron, elevator, rudder. So on this plug, this is the control plug, it's set up 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I get is some tape, and you tape them onto the wires. You don't need to do the fourth one, it's only 1, 2, and 3. So this is how it's set: aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder. So you need to do that by switching the wires. So throttle is on channel 3, elevator is on channel 2, and your aileron is on channel 1. So on the spektrum, you need throttle to be on channel 3 because that's what this is looking for. So you need to switch the wire. Throttle needs to be on channel 3. Aileron needs to be on 1. Elevator needs to be on 2. So just tag these. Normally it's the white wire is on the top. Let's see how it's on 2. So just tag them from this arrow. There's an arrow on the plug. See it on the top? So that's channel 1. Just mark 1, 2, 3. And then once you have them marked, you can pull them all out. And then it needs to go 3. See how it is? 3 on the top. Then 1. Then 2. So when you put these on, it's 1, 2, 3 on the going from the top down. 1, 2, 3. It needs to go 3, 1, 2, and 4 stays the same. 3, 1. Sorry, 2. 3, 1, 2. This is what the copilot is looking for. This is what your spektrum receiver is set up as. So if you switch these wires, 3, 1, 2, you can plug this right into your spektrum receiver, and this goes on to channel 5, and that's it. I know you can do it on the radio, but I've never had any luck. It never worked right, and I've tried it with different receivers and different copilot, but it just never worked right. This is the easiest way for me, and it works perfect. So let's put it in the airplane. So on this plane, I'm going to mount it on the board. Make sure that the arrow is facing the front of the airplane. The direction of travel, that arrow needs to be pointed in. So I'll be able to mount this on this wood board here, like that. And then I can slide it forward temporarily. And I'm going to put the receiver down underneath here, and then slide this back and glue it in place. That way it'll be real neat. Everything will be tucked away, and hopefully it should fly good. Alright, so here's the setup. The GPS, the adjustment board, the copilot, and then down underneath is the spektrum ar6610t receiver. Here's one antenna will go out the side. The other one will be 90 degrees up front. Here's the power cord. And then you can see the wires for the telemetry, for the voltage. And then we have an auxiliary plug if you want to do FPV. You can see the wires there. Alright, let's test it out. Alright, we're here at the field. Perfect day. Take a look around real quick. Alright, so here's the plane. We're going to be flying with the Turnigy graphene 3-cell 1000 milliamp. Go ahead and turn the radio on. Set to Sky Hunter. Now we're going to turn the motor on.
Motor on.
And in GPS mode, or I'm sorry, stabilization mode.
Gyro initialized.
Motor on, stabilization on, throttle down. Now the CG is right on this line here. You can see the 2 dots. That's about as good as it's going to get. Got a little wind coming in. All right. Should start beeping. And then when you hear the motor go beep, 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 you know, it makes its normal arming sound, then it's ready to fly. So we'll just sit here and wait. See it bouncing around. It's a little windy today. Not the perfect condition for a maiden flight. If it's the first time you've been to that location, it usually takes a little longer, but the next time that you go, it'll arm a lot faster. There we go. Let's check the motor. Check our controls. Let's turn the motor off. Let's check it. Okay. That's not good. Alright, so let's check the control surfaces. That's right, whichever direction you point the stick should go up. That seems to be working right. Now let's check the gyro.
Gyro initialized.
Whichever side goes up, the aileron goes up. That's working right also. Okay, we're good to go. I'm gonna reset everything and put the hat cam on. I'll be right back. Okay. Put that on, motor on.
Motor on. Volume 90. Manual mode. Gyro initialized.
Gyro on,
Throttle cut. Motor on.
motor on. Now we're gonna clear this. Check the CG. Perfect. Motor on.
Throttle cut.
Whoops.
Motor on. Manual mode.
Okay, here we go.
Gyro initialized.
So it seems to be losing altitude a little bit. It's losing altitude. Okay,
Throttle cut.
another cut.
Mid rates. Low rates.
Oh wow, that was on low rates. So, what you want to do is set it on the table and see with the gyro on where your elevator goes to the neutral position, which is flat on the table. So I'm going to raise the front just a little bit, and then you hold the sticks down and in. Okay, that changed it quite a bit. Let's see what we got now. Throttle cut is on.
Motor on. Mid rates.
Gonna go mid rates. Here we go. Woo. Much better. That's no motor. Go up.
Light pack 11.5 volts. Altitude 98 feet. Receiver 5.0 volts.
Let's test the return to home.
Return and loiter.
Hands off. Oh yeah, that works perfect. Look at that. No hands. Let it circle a couple times. Let's check our motor.
Light pack 11.9 volts. Altitude 235 feet. Receiver 5.0 volts.
I read somewhere that it said 70 feet, but this is telling me
Flight pack 12.0 volts. Altitude 227 feet. Receiver
227 feet. So that's where it loiters, 227-ish feet. Okay, going back on the gyro.
gyro initialized.
Here we go. Let's see how it dives. Oh yeah. Do a low pass. Back up. Motor's off. Let's do one from the left. Oh yeah. Motor off. Let's do one from the right. Do one right down the middle. Let's go up a little.
Flight pack 11.3 volts, altitude 221 feet, receiver 5.0 volts, manual mode,
Whoa.
gyro initialized, manual mode, gyro initialized, low rates, manual mode, gyro initialized, manual mode, gyro initialized, manual mode, gyro initialized, manual mode, gyro initialized,
Man, this thing's a handful without the gyro on.
manual mode,
There we go. Got her trimmed out, not bad. Definitely low rates. Do a roll. Woo, loop. Ugly loop. Let's try a better one.
gyro initialized, mid rates, high rates,
Okay, got it trimmed out. So what I did was, however much I trimmed on the radio, I went back to the 0 position on the radio and changed the control horns to match that same amount of throw that I had on the trim on the radio. So it's still physically trimmed on the plane, but on the radio it's 0. And the reason you want to do that is because if you trim it on the radio, when you go into GPS, or I'm sorry, when you go into stabilization mode and it's trimmed over to one side, the copilot's going to think that you're holding the stick over. So the plane will fly straight in manual mode, but when you go to stabilization mode, it'll start to turn to whichever side you have your trim on. So make sure that your trim is at 0 on everything if you can on the radio, and then just manually trim the plane. It'll make it fly a lot smoother. So let's try it again. Plane's on. Let's do the aileron check. Okay, here we go. Going up. Okay, coming into the wind. Manual mode.
Manual mode.
See that? It doesn't move.
Gyro initialized.
Gyro's on.
Manual mode.
See how it doesn't move at all?
Gyro initialized.
Let's give it a little more power.
Manual mode.
See that it doesn't move.
Gyro initialized.
We can still give it a little bit more to the right when we bring it in. It's coming with the wind.
Manual mode.
Yeah, we need to give it just a hair to the right. There we go.
Manual mode.
Perfect.
Gyro initialized. Return and loiter.
Let's test it. Hands off the stick. You guys are just learning how to fly, or you just want a plane that's fun. I know a lot of people are against gyros, but this combination with the copilot and the ar6610t receiver, I think is awesome. You get the telemetry.
Flight pack 11.1 volts. Altitude 224 feet. Receiver 5.0 volts.
You're up there 200 feet up. You're not going to hit anything. You know, it's just a nice thing to have on your plane. I'm not flying it at all. It's doing it all on its own. So let's take it back into stable mode.
Gyro initialized.
We'll bring her down for a low pass. No motor, hot pass. Oh yeah. Do one from the right. We'll do a fast pass. Here we go, full power. Oh yeah. Make no mistake, this little plane's small, but it's fast. Here we go, hot pass from the left. Over the treetops, coming in hot.
Flight pack 11.0 volts. Altitude 88 feet. Receiver 5.0 volts.
That's no motor. That's a nice flying plane right there. I like that it's black because you can see it really good in the sky. Most planes are white, and something this small, I don't think I would be able to fly this far away. Let's go out a little ways. Test the return to home.
Return and loiter.
Hands off the stick.
Flight pack 10.9 volts, altitude 241 feet, receiver 5.
All right, we're gonna bring her down,
Gyro initialized.
and I'm gonna test the auto launch function. Coming in over the treetops. Bleeding off the speed. Woo! And the grass is thick here. Okay. Make sure we're still on. Alright, I only got a few minutes left. Okay, so what you want to do here is take the grass off your plane first. Make sure your motor is on.
Throttle cut. Motor on.
Go into GPS mode.
Return and loiter.
And then turn your power up about 3/4. Here's my other hand. See that? I'm still no hands. My battery's going dead, so we're gonna take it over
Gyro initialized.
and we're coming back. Reduce the power. Start bleeding off our speed, altitude. You heard that alarm, that's the low voltage alarm. So before you used to have the beeper on and the whole neighborhood would hear when you had a low battery. Now it just comes on the radio. Throttle cut on.
Throttle cut.
I'll show you guys what I mean. So here's our plane.
Motor
I'm gonna give it gas. Hear the radio. So that's the low battery.
throttle cut.
So that's my flight of the Sky Hunter by Sonic Model. Awesome plane. Definitely recommend it.
Throttle cut.
Oh, real quick, I got 7 minutes of flight. Seven minutes of flight from Eternity 1000 3S graphene. Not bad. Okay, this pack, I got a Eternity 1300 graphene 3-cell. The other one was a 1000. I got 7 minutes of flight, so I'm gonna fly this, see how much longer I get, and I will report back because I don't have enough SD card to record the whole flight. So we'll see what we get. 13 minutes out of that flight. Not bad. Alright, so now we're going with the 1600 3S. Let's see what it does. Alright, so I just landed. Oh, my neck is sore. Eternity 1600. 26:32. 26 minutes 32 seconds. with the Sonic model Skyhunter, bone stock with the Turnigy 1600 3S 40C battery. Thanks for watching.